Resources. What is the Department of Natural Resources? We're the Park, Forestry, Cemetery, Recreation, and Conservation Efforts. It's a relatively new department created approximately 3.5 years ago by Mayor Koch. We have been charged with, in my department, with overseeing the operation of the Furnace Brook Golf Course. We're extremely excited about it. We see this as the potential as a community golf course. Now, what is a community golf course? A community golf course is one that provides access to those that typically don't have access to the game of golf. Game of golf has a lot of barriers to entry. Cost is one of them. We see the opportunity to run a municipal golf course as a way to introduce many of our residents to a game that most people think is fun and enjoy being out in the open space, playing some recreation, having some laughs, and getting some good outdoor recreation. So, just by way of history on the golf course, this golf course is coming up on 100 years old. It was originally the Stony Brae Golf Course. It was built as an 18-hole golf course. The other 9 holes were across Furnace Brook Parkway. It's been a 9-hole golf course for 70+ years, named the Furnace Brook Golf Club. They had a 50-year lease in the early 1970s, which the city forgave the property tax bill due to the golf club. In return, at the expiration of that 50-year lease, the city would take on the golf course. That lease expired in 2021. The city formally took over operations on January 1st of this year, 2022. We're very proud to have a great team up here running the show. We inherited Diane Bowman, who's an excellent manages the place. She was our admin who works here in the building. Justin Bousquet, who was our golf superintendent, also worked for the Furnace Brook Golf Club. And we added General Manager Golf Pro Tom Ellis, who we were able to steal from Granite Links, who also had some relevant experience at Puttingham and Brookline as a municipal golf pro as well too. So very happy with the way the team has come together up here. So far it's been a relatively successful first 6 months. And obviously the main reason for tonight's meeting is where we go from here. This isn't like our first meeting. Many of you, I recognize your faces, were here in February where we presented a plan, we got reaction on a plan. We've actually taken a step back from that based on a lot of the community feedback that we've received. So our goal tonight is to have a workshop, a values workshop about what the community wants to see from the golf course, from the park, from the relationship, and how it impacts the community at large. So that's the goal tonight. I'm not here to present a sketch of a building or a park or anything else like that. We want to hear about the values that should inform the design process. We've actually put our goal, our process on pause to get more feedback based on the type of feedback that we were getting. Originally, our goal was to go before the council and seek an appropriation in the early half of this year. But we said, you know what, we better take a time out, we better take a pause, we need more community feedback on this, we're not where we need to be. So working with many folks in the community, we've taken a deep breath, we've taken a step back, and here we are this evening. I do want to thank all of you. I know it's a beautiful night. There are many other things that you could be doing, but you're here to help me do my job better, to help the city build a better project here with both the park, the golf club, and the clubhouse, etc. That's the process to date. The expectation from tonight's workshop is that we'll build a system of values that will inform the design process. This isn't the last community meeting we intend to have on this particular project. Obviously, from this meeting, we go back to the design process. We take a look at the park, we take a look at the clubhouse, we take a look at the relationship with the two in the community, and then we come back here at some point with a presentation with actual plans and get further reaction. Again, that won't be the last meeting either. There is a process in place that's going to allow everybody to have a seat at the table. Now, I don't think that everybody here is here for the same reason. I think there are some people here tonight that are mad we haven't started construction. I think there are some people here tonight that want us to do no construction. And we've got to find those places in between as a community and those values that are shared that we can use to inform whatever process we do going forward. So before I turn it over to the facilitators tonight, we have a great team from Boston O'Neill, which will be introduced in a little bit. I do want to ask your continued respect in this process. We've received as much feedback on this particular issue as I have any other project that I've worked on. I want to specifically highlight the work that Councilor Ian Kane has done in facilitating a lot of that feedback. He has been fantastic in making sure that residents that reach out to him, every single one of them, that feedback gets back to me. And that's quite frankly part of the reason why we're here tonight. the feedback from the Friends of Forbes Hill, the consistent feedback we're getting through the counselor back to me as well too. So a couple other introductions. I mentioned Councilor Kane. Thank you again for all your work on this issue. We have City Councilor Lodge Ann Mahoney is with us here this evening as well. And we're also joined by a native, I believe, of Forbes Hill, State Senator John Keenan. Like a former Reservoir Road resident, maybe?
Prospect.
Prospect, okay. So with that, I want to get into the work. I don't want to take up more time than I already have. So I'm very excited to have a great team with us tonight, and I do want to turn it over to our head facilitator tonight, Arnold Robinson.
Thanks. So thank you guys for coming out. This is a fantastic turnout, and we want to make the most efficient use of your time that we can. So did everyone, hopefully when you came in the door, you got an agenda, and you will be able to get one at the tables. If you don't already have one, hopefully you do. But I'm going to go through this because this sort of sets how are we going to do our work tonight together. So just so we're clear on what the goals are, Dave hit sort of the broad goals for the city and the project. I want to hit some goals for tonight. As he said, you know, people come with different experiences on this project, different viewpoints on this project. One of our first goals is we want to build what we call shared understanding of the project goals, shared understanding of what other stakeholders have for the project. So really that you're hearing other voices, other people. And we want to really articulate values and principles that can be used in design. So we'll be collecting that, and your table facilitators will be working with you to collect that. And as part of that, we're going to see start to show up on those boards, and then in the big report out at the end, where are there areas of synergy, where are there areas of conflict. Objective identification of that is the beginning of a start to sort of work towards a solution. So physical boundaries, just so folks know, on all the tables, there's sort of an existing conditions plan. We are focused on the area of obviously Forbes Hill Park, the golf course itself, and sort of the surrounding immediate residential neighborhood. So we want to kind of keep things focused on that for tonight. And really the big question is under item 2 on the agenda that you've got out there, the question that we're looking to have you give us input on and to capture is, what are the values and principles that the community and the diverse groups of stakeholders want to see reflected in project design? That's a really intentional statement of what we're hoping to get out tonight. And I want to, you're going to have facilitators at each of your tables whose name tags are labeled. We have such a great turnout tonight, we're actually going to expand this and we're going to do at least one station out on the deck. So we can sort of get the voices a little bit more diffused, hopefully cut down on the noise being all in one interior space. There'll be a little chaos while we get you all into groups, but that's how we're going to work. Your facilitator will lead you. And so what we're going to have happen is that, first off, we really hope you're coming with both your listening, your ideas, but also your willingness to listen. And to facilitate this, because I've done about now, this is I think my 98th facilitation charrette in my career, there's a set of ground rules on the back of your agenda. And it can seem kind of hokey to have rules, right? You're all adults, you know how to behave. But one of the things to really efficiently get through this and share information, there's a couple of things I'd like you to do tonight when you're working together. So obviously be fully present, you know, have phones off. Really speak your truth. Don't speak for others unless, you know, you're sort of a elected representative of a group. We want you to listen to what other folks are saying and speak one at a time at your tables. The goal is not to debate at your tables. We want to capture ideas from each other and hear. We're going to be capturing ideas on Post-it notes because that's the way we can efficiently do this. If you did the math and we had 2 hours together, each of you would have approximately 80 seconds to speak. There's no way to articulate everything you want about this project in 80 seconds. But by putting you in tables, we can capture a lot more and see the sense of the room. So you're going to be capturing those ideas on Post-its. And really, we're going to capture values and principles, which I'm going to define for you. One thing about not debating at tables, but capturing where there's some conflict, is we're going to do a thing at your table that your facilitator will help you with called a flash. So if somebody says, you know, plant a giant wheat field in Forbes Hill Park, right? Somebody can say, yeah, I want to, let's put a flash on that because I want to come back and talk about that some more. It's not a debate, but you want clarification, you want understanding. Somebody will say, I don't want a wheat field. We're going to capture that too and put that up on the board. It's not going to be sort of a debate about the two, but we want to capture all the ideas. So there's going to be some non-closure, right? We're all not going to sing Kumbaya and hold hands. That's not the goal for tonight. What we want to do is get all the ideas up and articulated so that they can be used as the project goes forward. Please disagree without being disagreeable. Show respect to the people in your group. Wait till everyone has a chance to speak in your table before you speak a second time. Just make space for the quieter folks. Make space for people who are maybe thinking of a great idea. Don't just lunge in. Your facilitator will help you do that too. Stay open to new ideas. Don't poo-poo it or harumph it. Listen and be part of it. And hopefully, and a lot of groups do, have fun with this. Get to know some people you don't know, and meet some new neighbors, meet some new people you haven't connected with. So the big question really resolves around these two terms, right? Values and principles. Those are pretty not amorphous, but many people have different definitions of what that means. I want to give you your functional definition for when you're working in your tables. And you'll notice that around you, the boards, there's blue as values, sort of rose-colored as principles, right? The way we're going to work with values tonight is overarching and philosophical. What's important in life is usually a value. So one of those things might be have Forbes Hill Park be a great place for people to recreate and enjoy nature. Right? That's a big value. A principle that backs that up might be maintain a green open space. Have a tennis court. Those are all underlying principles that underlie it. Your facilitator will help you sort of tease those things out, but we want to capture that for both the golf course, the neighborhood, and the park. So the big things that you're going to do when we break you up into groups is you'll notice that your name tags, by and large, have a little colored dot on them, right? Little social engineering underway here. So what you're going to have are a series of tables that are labeled by color. We want you to work in groups that are not 8 people who are exactly who you already know from your block, who think exactly the same way as you do. We want you to get diffused a little bit and meet with some other people you don't know.
So we're trying to make sense of all what we just did. There was some absolutely fantastic work that was going on in each of the groups. It was fascinating to see both the similarities and the differences as you went in between each of the groups. And I want to turn it over to our team from Custom O'Neill to talk about what the process is next, how they're going to try to bring all of this information together. But before I do that, 2 pieces of housekeeping. One of our elected officials, she's involved in so many different organizations. Sometimes I forget she's on the school committee, but Emily Lebo is here tonight too. And then finally, if I can close out with just thanking all of you. This is how I do my job better, when I hear from so many people with so many different perspectives that I would have never thought of. So I really appreciate you giving your time and your interest and your skills to this process. I think we're going to have a better product at the end of this because of the commitment and the contribution that you all made tonight. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and then I'll turn it back over to Arnold and our folks and friends from Custom O'Neill. So thank you.
So before we lose you all, because we know you have other lives to go to, you got to hear what happened in your group. We want you to hear what happened in some of the other groups to see where the same ideas came up or where different things came up. So what we're going to do is very quickly, each of the facilitators is going to report out. I'm going to catch their ideas, and up on this glass wall, I'm going to start to cluster them by ideas. The session's supposed to run till 9. We want to make sure that we catch everybody's ideas that are up here as quickly as we can. So you're going to see that we're going to hear unique ideas at the beginning, and then we're going to see a lot of themes evolving. So with that, I'm turning it over to Cochet.
Yeah. Yes, Cochet, that's my nickname.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the values from my group. We were outside on the deck. So the first value we had was that we want this to be a cost-effective project. We also are valuing neighborhood safety. That the city-owned property should reflect the whole city. And on that same note, accessibility for different income brackets. We have non-commercialization of the property. Maintaining the Oasis on the Hill vibe.
Is that the park, the golf course, both?
Everything.
Just everything.
My backyard.
Yeah.
Well, it's the city on the hill, right?
We have democratized golf as a value. Communication.
And that's process, right? About
Yeah.
the design process.
And kind of on that same note, clarify budget misinformation.
Alex, where are you? Can you take those two pads and I'm going to ask you to give me some title headings.
And then we have that the park and golf course should have a variety of uses in them. So we have mixed use. That's kind of park related, I would say.
So we need park, we need golf course.
We have public safety and traffic safety.
Safety.
Other neighborhoods can also enjoy the park. We have community stewardship over the park as a value.
We got park and course.
Then we have quiet and non-busy neighborhood / tranquility. That's one. Here.
Give me a neighborhood character once, please.
Revenue should be generated to support the city. We have that. And we have quiet during construction.
Welcome.
Thought that was the back.
We have a safe and interesting place for children and families.
And is that the
That's
park?
the park, I would say.
So,
We want to maximize open space.
project process.
We have beautiful parks. That's what we have as value. Inclusive open space, diverse for families and kids. Long-term resource protection. I believe this is natural resources.
And that's gotta be, is that for like both park and golf?
Yeah.
Right?
And then we have transparency. So that would go with the
Process.
Now for our principles.
We're busy.
We got a lot done. We have keep the clubhouse view. Neighborhood events. We have golf facilities in public parks.
Think about golf, Alex.
Okay, we have revenue to city, not to third-party restaurants. I think that'd be with the golf, maybe the golf
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I have shady spots, clarification, tree cover.
Park.
Public restrooms, that's for the park.
Yep.
Walking,
Stay low on principles.
walking space is also for the park. Skiing and winter sports at the park. Maintain the tennis courts. We have pollinator garden with greenery. Limited alcohol to prevent drinking and driving. I'd say that's golf. Expel weeds, dead plants, and invasive species at the park. Protect existing wildlife. I have golf lessons. Community-oriented activities at the park. Clarify restaurant service and operating hours. I put that under project process, I think. That's sort of related to the transparency. Organic and animal-friendly pest maintenance. That would be for the, I think park and golf course.
Or both? It's for both. All right. I'm gonna put it under one, knowing that it's both. I'm asking for some trust.
More charrette type activities. Yes. Do something cool with the tower.
Yeah.
We have speed humps. That'd be for neighborhood or safety, yeah.
Which here?
We have we had ballot question for how the land is gonna be used. So
Process.
that would be process. Maintain existing park boundaries. We have Quincy citizen priority. I believe this is for the golf course.
Okay.
Widely circulated golf course information. I think that's probably process. That kind of goes
Is
with.
this about making the golf course function better and be more accessible? Who is in this group?
Yeah.
That was regarding information that the city has already put out, presentations,
About the
budget,
project.
about the project.
Thank you.
De-emphasize golf.
Wow. Put it in the park.
Golf. The golf club resources should be like used to develop the golf course. I think I'm gonna look at that. Golf club. Then we have let the community dictate the park facilities. The city should circulate budget and other information via the emails collected tonight. And the city should look further into if everyone in the city at large wants another golf course.
I didn't hear that loud.
And yeah, inquiry into if the city really wants another golf course, basically. Was the sentence.
Somewhere else or here?
You ended on a juicy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was at the bottom of my sheet.
Great job. All right, thank you, Jay and her group. Good job, guys. All right,
I was gonna say.
Orange table. And for values, we had outdoor space to spend time.
The park.
Keep the park as is. We had keep the golf course.
Sorry, can I just request that you speak up a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Improve park amenities. People and dogs in the same place. A clean, sustainable environment. I think that's for both. Okay. Long-term view of the project. It could be look out like 100 years to make it valuable process.
Yeah.
Post-park rules for both dogs and humans. A well-maintained park. Communication with the community on the project. Only some people like golf. That was a flash.
Wow. Okay. Not the wow, no. I'm just trying to struggling with where to put it.
I think.
Maybe another park. Is it what it will park? Keep the tower.
Yeah.
Inclusion and diversity in use of the golf course. Tree maintenance. That was for the park. Align with the state's climate goals. Probably both, but geared more towards the climate. Native species, electric maintenance equipment.
Golf course, I think? Or
Yeah, it was just split in half.
okay. All right. Okay. We're gonna be looking
Put
at
in
a
the
lot of
golf
these for
course,
both. Yeah.
Cut down as few trees as possible in the park. A permanent fix for the drainage issues in the park. Well-lit, safe space for the park. Another fixed drainage for the park. Just renovate the clubhouse and the parking. Handicap accessible clubhouse. Provide a dog park. Need more parking for the golf cart. An open space for dogs. A fenced-in area for dogs.
Sensing a theme.
Fix the courts. Number of people for the function hall, so probably process. They want to know how many people.
Oh, okay.
question.
Questions? Got it.
The operating hours of the golf course. Lights for the park and security cameras for the park. Drunk driving road safety. Lines for the parking lot. Multi-use space for the park. Maintain green space in the park. Either no or limit the on-street parking, the overflow parking. The community garden in the park. Put the carts under the clubhouse.
Yep.
Shade trees in the park. Space for kids with shade in the park. Noise on hole 2 from on South Central Street. There's a park there. A full tree survey, so both the entire park and the course. A maintenance plan for the park. Trails in the park. Deep conversation about goats eating poison ivy in the park. Surprise to me was there was a tow rope at the golf course for skiing or something.
You guys, good job.
Okay, we got keep sledding open.
Is that on the golf course or the park?
Golf course.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds like that's going to create traffic flow, entrance and exit. Or not,
Is that golf course?
that's safety.
So is it, it's for the park, the golf course, everything?
Yes.
Whole site.
Thank you.
Yep, car safety, signage, and traffic management. Oh, new tennis court. We have dog friendly. We have pedestrian friendly safety access.
Park only, everything, streets?
Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
Make clubhouse with a community feel and and properly sized. There we go. Improve basketball court. We have limit restaurant hours to support golf and golf hours. Small venue for dinner, drink, small function for community. Restaurant hours not limited to golf hours. Be available for community. So those are all flash points. Yeah. Okay. Try to improve traffic management. Improve playground equipment. Here we are is repave bumpy road for pedestrian access use. Sorry. I have a flash to that, make access and traffic fair to neighborhood streets. That means both sides get access. Provide pedestrian access to bumpy road, which goes with that. Okay, need fence as barrier between pedestrian and cars.
Is that site specific? Where is that?
Those are the park.
Yeah, that's what we're.
Thank you.
Yep. Parking to accommodate various uses of park and course, so evaluate that as a project process. Yep. Would like seating and picnic tables?
In the park.
Yep. Parking not used as a cut-through, meaning it's just not going through. Yep. That's safety. Understanding turn radius for delivery trucks as well as weight limit.
Golf club, probably.
No, just for the road, for all the road. Yep. Yep. Okay, so we got great outdoor dining space. So that
Where?
would-
Park or golf course?
Clubhouse, sorry. I was like, come on. Evaluation of trees to maintain and what to remove, long-term plan. So that would be process, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Clear space along Summit to expand green space. That was a flash to this, by the way.
So clear space, what does space mean?
Clear out space in the park for, yeah.
Clear out the woods. along
Yeah,
Summit.
yes.
Okay.
Clear out the wooded, yeah.
So that's part.
Pedestrian improvement from Summit to Water Tower, so that's not Summit Road, the Summit Road, that's the one in the back, the corner by the Water Tower. And that's park. Okay, and then we have dogs on leashes at all times, dogs be allowed off leash.
Boy, were you an equitable group to have two of those. That's really good.
So principles was create traffic plan, safety, entrance and exit at both. So that's safety. Fiscal value, project cost to clubhouse, of the project, be transparent,
Only
right?
clubhouse or the whole project?
The whole project. And breaking it. Stormwater management. Yeah, that's park. That was park, right guys? Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Maintain park green space. Sustainability, environment, noise pollution, things of that to consider for the design.
Is that-
On the clubhouse, on the project, that's process, project process.
Okay.
Sustainability, right, Sean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say it's golf course, but also process.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Plant new trees, use arborist, meaning a study.
Only the park, golf course?
We were talking about the park, he's not here anymore, but yeah. And community accessibility to golf. Yeah. Use golf course space for parking lot, fair division of space.
Arnold, sorry. You keep putting a lot of the parking stuff on the golf club. I think parking is universal up here.
So this one is use golf course space for parking. Are we talking about for parking for both the park?
So the
I got sort of the group that wrote this.
The intent of that is if the park has to give up space, the golf course has to give up space for parking.
Got it. So leave it under the general sort of safety parking one? Is it a, it's a golf course?
Project
Process, okay, got it.
Okay. Accessibility and safety in all areas. Who is responsible for fencing around golf course? That was the question.
I think it's sort of golf course
I
design.
actually think that was in the park. wasn't it?
It was on the park, yeah.
Okay.
We might have that too.
Process would be put like that.
Okay, so proper designation of park area versus neighborhood, meaning personal property.
Okay.
Put that in the name.
Okay. Upgrade water tower with signage. Upgrade water tower, also add signage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Member time and public access at the golf course. Signage, to reiterate, respect to neighborhood.
Is that in the park? Is that in the golf
That's
course?
everywhere,
I think
reminding that
that's
they're in the
neighborhood character
neighborhood.
now.
Yeah. And then the biggest is fiscal transparency, and this is yearly, if I remember correctly, right?
Good job.
Two.
Just by show of hands, how many from yellow are still here? Yellow group. All right, correct me if I get anything wrong. We're gonna go rapid fire. Starting with values, the views from the clubhouse. Multiple uses of outdoor space. Outdoor education and recreation. Unstructured spaces.
In the park.
Yep. Organized play. Open spaces for kids. Park. Green space and shade, also related to your park. Preserve the golf course. Accessibility to everyone. That's for the
Golf course?
golf course and the park?
Yes.
Yellow? Yep. Parking,
In general?
yep. Outdoor spaces and deck, that's tied to the clubhouse, so. Outdoor spaces for dogs, park. Alright, these are kind of all together, but ecosystem services, stewardship, habitat, wild spaces, and cooling from trees, that all goes to park. Get up.
I'm just getting out of here.
All right, quiet, can you, along
Is that
with
park or
neighborhood
golf?
character?
Park or golf?
I think that's neighborhood character.
Yep.
Address drainage issues, park. Respect historical significance, character. I think that was mainly tied to the park.
The tower.
Tower.
Yep.
Evaluate local impact. So I think this is impact that any development might have on the local community.
Like a process.
And along with that, community and safety, just generally safety. Okay. Oh. All right, on to principles. So basketball courts. Along with that, lighted tennis courts. We'd like to see a golf simulator at
Yeah, I love.
the golf course.
Yep.
Restore local ecosystem, that's tied to the park. Develop a drainage plan tied to the park. Evaluate the trees. This is for what's dead, what's alive.
That's in the process, I think.
Limit noise pollution, both from activity at the golf course and park, and during construction. Walking path, trail, garden, that's park. Minimize hardscapes, hard tops. It's mostly, I'm trying to remember who we had.
Towards the park?
Park. During construction, consider temporarily or some sort of temporary or modular structure for the clubhouse.
Clubhouse?
If you're knocking things down, consider, this is another kind of related, consider completely closing the golf course during construction. Better striping in the parking lot.
Go safety for now. Yeah.
Okay, add signage. I think this is mostly in connection to the park. Tied to the tower. This relates to the quietness, so maybe consider limiting hours or having quiet hours established.
Maybe the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Parking garage underneath the clubhouse. Speed bump, safety, flashing stop sign. Keep open during improvements. So that's as a juxtaposition to some modular. Remove dead trees. Make tower accessible. Improve signage. Explore parking options on the unused road.
We sort of had safety and parking sort of put it together for the different now. We're going to do some reorganization.
All right, for safety again, address loitering issues at night.
Park.
Consider off-site parking for special events and busing folks in for those.
Yeah, let's do golf. I'm going to start with the tower.
Okay, improve clubhouse and facilities. Down there. Make clubhouse ADA compliant. Oh, preserve some of the park or all of the park. So this is kind of a change some of it or change none of it. Bring back events like Flag Day up here. Yeah, I think that was mainly in the clubhouse.
That was a community event we've been doing the past few years.
In the clubhouse or in the park?
At the clubhouse.
Yeah. Okay.
Lynn and I used to run that. I retired though, so. We go to
Bringing
parties.
you back.
We go to parties now.
Preserve trees, and incorporate amenities to clean up after dogs. Okay. So thank you, Yellow Group.
All right. Here we go for the blue team. Yes. Representing. Some say the best team. All right, so we're gonna start with values. More parking. I don't know if parking was safety. Safe traffic. Beautification and care. I think that's gonna be parking. Remove basin. That's a drainage item for the park. Better drainage goes right along with it. Safe community use. So focused on all the different things people do. Kind of a park one too, but need a new clubhouse. Facility assessment. Oh, I'm sorry. The facility needs to make money. So I'm gonna put that clubhouse. Okay. Yeah, golf course. All right. Focus should be on community recreation. That could go in a lot. I think that's probably. I don't know. That could park. Yeah, go to park. Welcoming environment to all. I'm gonna put that one under golf course. It's kind of what we were talking about. Sledding must stay. That's golf course. Peace and quiet for abutters. Neighborhood character. Better tree safety. I guess safety. Yep. More green space. I think that could be the park. More balanced use of the facility.
I think that was golf course.
Like the whole site. Overall. Okay, we got some movement. Focus should be on golf. I'll put that on the golf course. Ongoing communication point person. So that process, okay. And I think that's also after it's built. Do the studies before the design. That's definitely process. Neighborhood traffic calming. Effective safety. No more drinking in the park.
Except for us.
Transparency and accessibility to the findings. That's what we had for the values. All right, I can't remember. Now the principles. Relocate the maintenance shed to cut down on noise. A watchable 9th green. Separate with fenced areas for kids versus dogs. Clubhouse should stay in the same space. Public milestones in the process. Any change to traffic flow should be studied. One way in, one way out. That is safety, I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Environmental assessment for the whole project should be conducted.
Yep.
More youth golf programs. That was the clubhouse. Concerns in expanding liquor license hours. I'll put that for the clubhouse as well. More information about services. I think that's golf course.
Process, transparency, maybe?
Yeah, could be process too. I think that's like goes in hand with welcoming people. More welcoming architecture. That's definitely going to go with the golf club. The tower should be restored to an observation tower. Drainage. There should be a drainage study, but really just fix the drainage. And no impacts to neighbors when that drainage gets fixed. We should have bocce courts. I think that's a park. Better noise screening. That could really be everywhere, but I think we were talking about the park when that came up. Lit stop signs. I was excited to see flashing stop signs. I did refer to them as disco stop signs. This is a neighborhood one. Really classy signage. An arborist tree health assessment. I think I want to. Yeah. A better playground, not necessarily a bigger playground. That's park. More dog facilities, also park. We did cover both poop and pee. And potential parking along the bumpy road. A smaller footprint overall would be better for the environment. That could be processed. Like the clubhouse, the parking. Every impervious, like smaller impervious surface. This is somewhat related to that. Keep the features in the same place. So the clubhouse, the parking, the sentiment was keep those all where they are today. Clubhouse design should take advantage of the environment. Upgrades to the park. Better scale lighting, that's really probably a park one too. Working gates for the park. And then these kind of went together. Same size clubhouse, triple is too much, but it depends on what the use is. Here for Lou, people.
Very much. All right. So green team, we had recognized competing interests in the design process. Park as a gathering space. Access to park from all neighborhoods and maintain park as a place for kids to play. Preserve the golf course. Accessible golf for all. Safety of residents with traffic, especially speed. Make sure the development is right-sized and sustainable, and for that we were really talking about the golf course facilities. Okay. Improved maintenance and upkeep of the park. Improved responsible park users and designs to support. That meant put the infrastructure in so people can recycle stuff, throw away stuff, and pick up after their dogs and cats. Maximize views from the site. That was both, I'm going to put it with golf course, but it was also meant for the park as well. Responsible, I can't read my own handwriting. Responsible stormwater, surface and groundwater management. So for now, let's put that over there. You have some stormwater clusters. Improved maintenance and upkeep of the golf course. Improved park amenities and facilities. Maintain quiet character of the park. That was very specific. It's not an active league play kind of place. Sustained inclusive design process and transparency. Involve third parties on reviewing design and programming, so it's not just city officials, but you've got some outside viewpoints. Inclusivity at the golf course by the city, make it sort of accessible to all. Function space should be sized appropriately for the new clubhouse building or whatever clubhouse is. Preserve the historic aspects of the tower. Function space should be appropriately sized, but not too large to create negative neighborhood impacts. Those go together. Respect southern boundary of park. What's park? Maintain tree cover and urban forest within the park. So the things that back that up, the principles, putting a deck and a fire pit, not necessarily together on the clubhouse. Preserve the tradition of tournaments at the golf course, sort of a cultural thing. Park drainage improvements. Independent tree survey and recommendations, which we've heard before. Consider all possible locations for parking. Parking. Be flexible and open-minded during the design process. There are lots of different options. and we keep talking about them. Preserve long-standing golf leagues that have been here for decades. Improve the gate and the fence. Improve the perimeter of the golf course, especially thinking of it as it buffers and can be an amenity for the surrounding neighborhoods. Walking trails at the golf course property specifically. Upgrade the clubhouse. Provide view from the observation tower for the public. Maximize views from the clubhouse. Benches and gathering spaces in the park. Remove invasive species, more park, but also can be golf course. Perimeter walk path, that was very specifically the park, and potentially referencing the old reservoir pathway. Tot lot and playground in the park. Tennis and pickleball in the park. Clubhouse on multiple levels with carts underneath and concessions that are accessible at ground level. Golf clubhouse as a community gathering space. Golf club amenities open to park users like the summer camps. Covered pavilion in the park. Adding low impact lighting to the park. Basketball court, keeping it or upgrading it. Open driveway onto Summit that comes through the golf course. Yeah, that's like driveway safety roadway thing. Speed bumps for calming traffic. Netting on Stony Brae Park so that balls don't go flying into it. I say that's golf. Clubhouse uses that allow year-round use, like those simulators that were referenced before. Manage noise generation from outside space usage. Putting the rope tow back on the golf course for skiing. Operations not having a negative impact on the community at the golf course. Research best practices in park lighting and lighting, considered architecturally lighting the tower. Kids golf programs at the golf course. Consider alternatives to parking lot like satellites. Some parking. Minimize paving for parking areas. There's other surfaces you can use. And make design accessible to people by doing models and staking things out in the ground so people can see it and envision it more than the plans. That's it. A little bit late. So I want to thank you guys. This was, for us, we got a lot out of this that is now categorized. There's some tuning up we can do with this. But we are just here to facilitate and capture your ideas. Dave, any closing words? Did we lose Dave?
No, just thank you to everybody that's here. The one group I haven't thanked is our team for Fuss and O'Neill. What a fantastic job they did. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank, a couple of weeks ago we had a meeting in the park with Maria, with Ryan, and with Dave, and with Chris, and we started to kick around some ideas, and from that discussion, this idea was born. I thought this was an incredibly helpful exercise to get everybody to the table, to get everybody's feedback, to help inform the design process going forward. So thank you to those folks that played that critical role in making tonight happen. Just so everybody knows where we go from here, I think if we could, we're not going to leave these sticky notes here and then refer to them from time to time to map the golf course and try to figure out where we go next. So our team is going to compile this information. We're going to try to create a document that informs how we go forward. You all heard a lot of concepts and ideas and hopes and wishes that are in direct conflict too, right? So, you know, we've got to kind of find a way to compile this report in a manner that captures as much common ground as we can and informs the process going forward, knowing that not everybody's going to get everything that we talked about tonight, quite frankly. But we're going to try, and that's what tonight was all about. And tonight was about getting people to the table, giving them a voice in the process, and we hope to continue that even beyond tonight to the next steps and to the next community meetings over the course of the summer and beyond that. So with that, I just want to thank all of you, our team, and we look forward to the next time we get together to take the next step on the design process. So thank you.
Thank you.